Hey y'all, I decided to share my homemade pumpkin enchilada recipe with you. This will be a quick video on how to make enchiladas. The recipe will be on my Facebook page and in my recipe book that should be coming out real soon. So the first thing I have you do is cook your chicken ahead of time in a crock pot. I cook mine in a crock pot with taco seasoning, and extra cumin, garlic, and about a half a cup to a cup of water depending on how much chicken. I made 3 pounds of chicken. So you don't want to pull your chicken apart too much in the crock pot first. You just want to drain it, and then I'm just going to go ahead and dump it right back in the crock pot and pull it apart so that I can put it inside the tortillas for rolling up my enchiladas. So to pull the chicken apart in the crock pot, you just grab 2 big forks and you just pull it apart. You grab one end and pull apart. It should just shred right up into fine little bits of chicken. You don't want too many big chunks because the tortilla rolls for enchiladas, if you use corn tortillas, they're really small. I used whole wheat this time, the low carb whole wheat, and they're still pretty small. So you want to make sure that you shred the chicken up as fine as possible. So the next thing I'm going to do is get out my scale for measuring so I know my correct macro size for portioning for myself, and get my tortillas ready and all my other ingredients ready. They're all laid out and ready to spoon in. So the first thing I do is grab my tortilla, set it on my scale, zero my scale out, and then I add chicken a little bit at a time. You don't want to put too much in there because they'll be real hard to roll. I'm thinking about 2 ounces. And I'm pretty close to that. So 2 ounces of enchilada meat. Then I take my pre-diced peppers and toss them. Flavor. I have jalapenos, onions, banana peppers, and green pepper in here already. I'm not adding cheese for mine. The cheese is for my boyfriend when I make his. And then I add just about a spoonful of pumpkin enchilada sauce that I already made. Then you grab the enchilada and you pull it together as tight as possible. And then you just roll it up. And you set it rolled side down in the pan, just like that. So 1 enchilada is 2 ounces of chicken. So I know that I like to hit around 30 to 35 grams of protein per sitting. So I know that I would need 3 enchiladas, which would make 6 ounces of chicken, is my serving size, macro size. And that's how I would portion them out into meals when they're done baking. I didn't add cheese to mine. I'm going to add cheese to my boyfriend's. He's allowed to have cheese right now. Unfortunately, I am in prep mode, so I can't have the cheese, but I can have these low-carb whole wheat tortillas for my carbs. And each tortilla has 11 grams of carbs, so that means I would be getting, it's a 33 grams of carbs per 3 enchiladas as well. So that hits my macros perfect. And that is how you prep these enchiladas in bulk. Next I'll show you how to pour the sauce on and then you bake it. So now that I have my enchiladas rolled in a pan, I made a small pan just for demonstration purposes. I have a ton more to roll. You take your sauce with a bigger spoon and you roll your pumpkin sauce, your pumpkin enchilada sauce, right on top. Smear it in just like that. And then if you are allowed to have cheese in your diet, you can sprinkle just a little bit of cheese on top. If you like them a little more saucy, you can add a little bit more sauce. I recommend adding it to the bottom if you like them a little bit soggier. I like mine a little bit crispier. Then you bake them at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes because it's already cooked. It just kind of needs to blend all together. And that is how you make homemade pumpkin enchiladas. So I have an alternative method if you do not have enough time to roll each enchilada out, but you still want that great, amazing pumpkin enchilada flavor. If you're not exactly counting macros down to the T, you're just getting a rough estimate and trying to eat something healthy, then I have a suggestion. I call it lasagna enchilada. And I layer the tortillas and the sauce and the meat and a little bit of cheese in each layer, and then I bake them at 400 degrees for 20 minutes, the same as I would have done the individually rolled enchiladas. So I'm going to make this next pan for my boyfriend because he's allowed to have the cheese, and he's not exactly counting his macros because he's not prepping for anything like me. So let me show you how to do that. So I grab the tortilla and I lay it on the bottom so that I'm lining the pan completely. And like I said, he's not worried about carb count, so we're just trying to get a full layer here. It's still very healthy for him though. So that's the first layer. Then I grab the enchilada sauce and put about 2 tablespoons or heaping tablespoons. Smear it all over the bottom so there's a nice even layer, just like you would do lasagna if this were the sauce. Then I grab the already shredded chicken, could have probably shredded just a little bit better, and make sure that I get a nice even layer of shredded chicken. And then I sprinkle my already chopped peppers throughout it. And like I said, you can use any kind of peppers you want. We like hot peppers, and I grew all these peppers in my garden, so that's what we used. And then I grab the cheese and I sprinkle a nice light layer of cheese right on top of everything. It looks just like this. And then I will start my next layer of tortilla in lasagna. So the last layer, or the top layer of enchilada casserole, I put the tortillas on again. I'll just do 2. Fits pretty good actually. And then I'm going to do a very thin, light layer of the enchilada sauce. Spread it real nice. So it looks a lot thinner than I put on before. And then I'm going to sprinkle cheese on top. And this is my boyfriend's pan of enchiladas, enchilada casserole. So his enchiladas will have more protein per serving and less carbs. So I like to serve his with a side of rice whenever I prep them and put them in his little containers. And I top his with a little bit of salsa, and he eats sour cream too. I don't eat that. So for mine, I like to just top mine with a little bit of salsa and some avocado. And if I'm not prepping, I have a very little amount of cheese. But since I'm prepping right now, I don't get any cheese. And that is how you make pumpkin enchiladas. I hope you enjoyed this.